All right, step inside. Mind your head.
Welcome aboard. This is the heart of the ship. I'm the chief engineer. You must be the new oiler. Glad to have you with us.
Wow, it's incredible. So much bigger than I imagined. I'm ready to learn, Chief. Where should we start?
Follow me. We'll start over at the control panel. Now, before you even think about touching a single button in here, there's something really important you need to understand.
Okay, so what's the main reason things go wrong down here? Is it usually the machinery itself, like a part breaking down?
That's what almost everyone thinks when they first start. But some data from the Japan Coast Guard, well, it tells a pretty surprising story. Turns out, around 70% of all engine trouble has absolutely nothing to do with the engine itself.
Nope. It comes down to us, to people. Just simple mistakes, A missed check during maintenance, misreading a gauge, just a single moment of not paying attention. That's where the real danger is.
Here, let me show you something. Come on. Over here at the fuel transfer station, I want to tell you a story about what happened on a ship a lot like this one. It's a story with $1 million price tag. You see these valves right here? Pretty simple, right? They control the fuel going to the port and starboard tanks. Well, a tiny mistake, a simple mix-up between these two handles, it caused a massive accident. So, picture this. An oiler, just like you, was told to switch the fuel intake from the starboard tank over to the port tank. Sounds easy, right? But here's the problem. The valve for the starboard tank was on the left, and the one for the port tank was on the right. Kind of confusing. He got turned around, closed the port valve, which was already closed, and the starboard tank just kept filling up and up. What happened next? The tank overflowed, spilled about 600 liters of fuel straight into the sea. And the total cost? For that one little mistake? Almost $1.1 million US.
Wow, that's unbelievable. All of that just from turning the wrong handle?
Exactly. And that's the whole point. See, it's almost never just one mistake. And really getting that, really understanding it, that's the key to making sure something like that never happens on our watch.
Yeah, we actually have a name for it. We call it the negative chain, or an error chain. The best way to think about it is like a line of dominoes. A huge disaster is never the first domino to fall. It's the last one.
It always starts with one tiny thing, one little link. So with that fuel spill, maybe the first link was the confusing layout of the valves, but that wasn't enough on its own. The next link was maybe a lack of communication or the guy was in a rush. Then another link was not double-checking his work. See? Each little oversight connects to the next one, building a chain that leads straight to a disaster.
So, you see, our biggest job down here, it's not actually fixing engines when they break. Our real job is to be chain breakers. To spot that very first weak link, that tiny mistake, and to break the chain right there, before it even has a chance to get started. That is what prevention is all about.
All right, come on, let's walk back to the middle of the floor. There's one last thing, maybe the most important thing, that I need you to understand. Okay, Chief, so if the wrenches and the gauges aren't the most important things, then what are? What are the most important tools I need to master?
It's a good question. The most powerful tools you have aren't in any toolbox. They're the ones you bring with you every single day. First, there's diligence. That means doing all the small checks, every single time, even when it feels boring or routine. Then, communication. That means you always ask a question if you're not sure. I mean it, always. And finally, situational awareness. That's not just knowing what you're doing, but understanding why you're doing it. Look, if you remember just one thing from today, make it this. The best tools you have aren't made of steel. They're your eyes, your ears, and your voice. Use them. Pay attention to everything. Speak up if something doesn't feel right. That's how we keep this engine running. That's how we keep this ship and everyone on it safe. Understand? Good. Now let's get to work.